So we finally made it, the Disney era of Power Rangers. Now, although I didn't grow up watching most of these seasons, this season and onwards would make a huge change for the franchise. One of them being Disney now owning the Power Rangers brand, and the other change is production moving to New Zealand, where it's still being filmed to this very day as of recording this video. But those are stories for another day. In today's video, we'll be talking about monsters that never appeared in Power Rangers Ninja Storm and Power Rangers Dino Thunder. Now, both of these seasons I really enjoy. Ninja Storm is a lot of fun and wasn't as bad as everyone made it out to be. It's actually a really fun season once you binge the whole thing. And Dino Thunder, well, everyone loves Dino Thunder with the return of Tommy Oliver. And Dino Thunder also has some really good storytelling as well. But their Sentai counterparts, I haven't seen. I own Hurricaneger on DVD and it's still sealed in the packaging, I just haven't gotten around to watching it. And Abaranger I've seen mostly clips of, and most of those clips being Abaranger because that dude is a badass from what I've seen. Now, like I always say, if you want to support the official release, you can watch Hurricaneger on Shout Factory's website for free, or buy the DVD released by Shout Factory. But if you want to watch Abaranger, well, that never got an official release, so if you want to go hunting for fan subs, then go nuts. Google is your friend, I'm not going to stop you. Now, before we start talking about the monsters, I want to talk about the team-up and crossover we never got between Wild Force and Ninja Storm. Now, there are rumors and rumblings on the internet that it was planned and talked about, but it never happened, and I'm guessing that's because production moved to New Zealand. But the main bad guy in that crossover is the brother of Chobo in Ninja Storm, and I'm guessing if we ever got that Ninja Storm and Wild Force crossover, they probably would have turned this guy into a ninja org or something like that to suit the theme, but they probably would have made their own original villain for that team up as well, but that's one of the monsters that never made the list in Ninja Storm. Now, in Hurricaneger, there was never really a human villain like Lothar. Most of the set design, costumes, and characters were kind of kept the same, but the main difference for Hurricaneger and Ninja Storm were the two bosses. The main villain in the Sentai was called Boss Tao Zant, and yes, I know you're seeing an image of him on screen, and this was used for the Lothar Zord in his ultimate form. But the costume for the character was never used, and what we got in Ninja Storm was a totally different thing. And we'll be seeing that a lot moving forward in different episodes, where certain costumes and certain characters were sort of repurposed to sort of fit the totem scale of villain hierarchy in the show. And we'll see that in the next one with Bakuryuu and SPD. Now, next up, I wouldn't really call it a monster, but it's called the Copy Giant, and it's an item used to make the monsters large in Hurricaneger. You know how it goes, Rangers beat a monster, monster goes big, they summon the Zord, and in Ninja Storm, we just got something called the Scroll of Empowerment, which is kind of better because, you know, ninjas, scrolls, kind of fits the theme going on. Now, if you want to get technical about it, Ninja Storm only skipped one monster in the entire series, and that was the Gliding Ninja Musha, I cannot say that. Now, there isn't really a reason why this monster was never adapted. The suit design is pretty interesting, and seeing how it doesn't match any of the criteria we've covered talking about on the channel, I'm guessing it was skipped over in Ninja Storm because it didn't really suit the storylines and arcs that are going for it at the moment, so I'm guessing they just skipped over it because they probably couldn't find a reason to use it. That or Toei probably never sent them the suit to begin with. Alright, Abaranger. Now, I haven't seen Abaranger, but it's very different from Dino Thunder. And if you've seen Dino Thunder, we actually got to see this weird abridged, dubbed over version of Abaranger. So, instead of Jackal and Mr. Hyde Dinosaur Man, we got a parasitic demon god that wanted to enslave everyone. So we got mostly human characters. Now, if you want a huge mindfuck, so the character Zeltrax, that was actually an armored form for the main villain, and the ultimate form was used for the Zeltrax Zord. Now, in Abaranger, there were 6 monsters that never made it into Dino Thunder. 2 of them were from their movies, and 1 of them was from a CD-ROM villain, and I feel like we don't need to talk about the CD-ROM villains ever again. I mean, I don't think there's a way we can track it down and find out what exactly that villain was about. So, let's talk about some monsters that never appeared in Dino Thunder. Okay, so these are 3 monsters, but I'm counting them into the list. So, these guys were called the Resistance Trinod Jamei Sentai Evo Ranger. That is a mouthful to say. So the best way to describe these guys is they were meant to be an evil ranger team, but not taken very seriously. So I have no idea why these guys were skipped over, but I'm guessing it's because they were too goofy for Dino Thunder and didn't really match the tone they were going for in the show. So I can totally understand why these guys were skipped, because they probably couldn't find any use for them. So I guess they didn't want to use the costumes or something like that. So it's hard to say why we never saw these guys, but reading up on them and seeing how goofy and silly they are, I can totally understand why they chose to skip these guys. Alright, so I looked up on the wiki why this guy was skipped, and this guy is called Susaka Kotatsu. I'm probably going to butcher all these names. So this monster had a really interesting concept, and that was he was a monster that swapped the minds of the Blue and Red Ranger. And I feel like Dino Thunder missed out on something fun here. They could have had Connor and Ethan swap minds, and hijinks would have ensued with how different those characters were. I mean, one was the nerdy type, one was the sporty type. They could have had a lot to work with if they actually adapted this monster, but seeing how it was a mind swap monster, it probably had too much civilian footage or something like that going on for it. But it would have been an interesting concept to see Connor and Ethan swap minds in the show. I would have liked to see that. Okay, we've got one more on the list, and that is Rudrifleshia. I cannot say these names. Now, the reason why this monster was skipped because it introduced Abaranger. Who is Abaranger? Well, that character might deserve their own video, but the involvement of that ranger is why the monster was skipped. So if you want to find out more about Abaranger, stay tuned for that video coming very, very soon eventually. So that was monsters that never appeared in Power Rangers Ninja Storm and Dino Thunder. And like I said at the start of the video, we're in the Disney era now, so some very interesting monsters are not going to make the cut from their Super Sentai counterparts. So get ready for some different changes and counterparts and stuff like that moving forward in different videos, because you guys are going to be in for some big surprises moving forward in never before seen Power Ranger monsters. But with that said, that's going to bring this video to a close. What did you guys think of the Power Ranger monsters that never made the cut into Ninja Storm or Dino Thunder? Tell me in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. With that said, I'm bringing this video to a close. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching, have a wonderful day or night, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, take care, bye.